let's go back to when you're having these early conversations. What's your first conversation with a contact that has money to get the seed money? Like, what are you just like, are you at dinner with them? Or are you having a happy hour and you're like, hey man, I got this idea, but I need to be funded. Would you be interested? I want to know how that went. Talk me through. And the reason I want to dig in there is, Brandon, is because I think a lot of listeners, they want to be an entrepreneur, they want to be a business owner, they have a decent idea, but they just really don't know how to go about getting the seed money, or they're not comfortable with it, or they've never done it, and that's
I wasn't comfortable with it.
the
And that's, as an entrepreneur, you got to get real comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I love it. Oh, that's the best quote I've had in a while. So I just want to know, like, how'd those early conversations go? Can you describe it? You don't have to mention who these people are, obviously, but just how'd that go? Like, what'd you say to them?
Yeah, so I was real lucky in the network I had. I mean, at the Mountain Club, you know, most of the people there were entrepreneurs in some way themselves, right?
Gotcha. Right. Right.
So, and I had studied this stuff a little bit, but it was still totally uncomfortable. But the thing, I mean, I didn't have a proper pitch deck or a business plan,
You
and
didn't have a
they were
business
kind of,
plan. You didn't have a PowerPoint deck. None of that.
yeah. And the first one, oh, it's horrible, looking back on it. But the you know the big thing is, I think, just ask. That's something I've learned. I was horrible, like the environment I grew up with, people in inner cities, they don't help each other out,
Mm,
but people in business do. And it's
mm.
like, it's amazing when I tell, like, I won't mention his name, but one of the super successful guys, and I even today I could call him right now and he would answer.
Mm.
He answered me on a plane on his way to Davos once. So, like,
Wow.
the people like that, to successful people, and that's why I'm on this call. That's why I'm taking. I mean, I'm slammed
Yep.
right now, but taking this,
Yep.
so, like, my way to give back a little bit, right?
That's awesome. Yep.
And people love to help, and that's something you need to learn. And don't be afraid to ask if you don't know. Yeah, there's books for everything, and that's something I learned as a kid. Is like, there's a book for everything. You need to learn how to do something. There's a book, but there's also a person that takes 20 to 30 minutes that can teach you the same thing as a whole book.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
And,
don't
and
be
the,
afraid to ask. Like, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to talk about funding, find your local entrepreneur organization and call them and say, hey, I don't know crap about funding. Can you help me?
mm.
And
And
they
it
will.
sounds like you don't have to have a perfect plan or a perfect pitch deck or a 5-year financial model. You can just have the conversations early. It's
Well, and
possible.
like, that's, as a founder too, I would eliminate that word from your vocabulary. Perfect.
That is
Yeah.
good.